I always think it's so hilarious when somebody says, man, I cannot unsee that. I'm not going to be able to do that. What does that mean? Let's talk about it. Yeah, I think that phrase, right, I can't unsee something, kind of pushes us toward a truth that we see in this passage that Jesus says in Matthew 6, verse 22. He says, the eye is the lamp of the body. So, if your eye is healthy, then your whole body will be full of light. And let's go on to 23. He says, but if your eye is bad, your whole body is full of darkness. If the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? And so kind of what he's saying is that the things that we look at are not neutral. The way we see things. Now again, philosophically, but I think even the things that we take in, how we see other people, right? And he's kind of saying like, it affects you. It really does. Think about like a sunrise. Think about when you, like I went to the Grand Canyon a couple of years ago and it was just breathtaking, right? When I go to the ocean or when I go to the mountains, it's like, wow. And I go, man, God made this and how awesome it is. And that's bringing like some truth to my heart, into my life, through my eyes. When I read the scripture and when I have that and when my eyes are seeing that, and when that becomes my way of seeing, you know, in terms of my life and my worldview, I think it's kind of both end. They really do connect. So as we've been talking about social media and our screens and our relationship with our screens, this is huge. Because what's going in, right? Like as I'm filming this, there's a camera and light is going into that camera and it is interpreting me and all the stuff around me. And it's deciding, right, what the color is going to look like, what's going to be in focus. And all of those things, how much light, how bright it is, or how bright it's not, or whatever. And you know, it's just we basically have tried to copy God's great creation of our eyes and how it goes into our brains and processes and doesn't just process your mind, it processes down in your heart and your soul. And we just said, hey, wow, we can do a camera like that. It's the same, you know, we didn't come up with it, right? Somebody, yes, but has the patent and maybe invented doing that, but God came up with the idea first. Sorry, okay? Just the way it is. And as I adjust things, there's so many adjustments and there's so much that I have to work with and try to get it so that it sees correctly and so that it processes correctly and so that what comes out is the right thing. It looks the way it's supposed to. Same thing with us. Like, what are we watching? Are we watching things we shouldn't watch? Exposing ourselves to things that are feeding the lust in us, and as Jesus is saying, creating this darkness. He's saying there's something going in, okay, and it might be darkness. That's what he's saying. It's supposed to be light. I mean, there's some kind of content, let's call it, getting in there. What is it on YouTube? What is it on? Is it creating in you more darkness, further from God, further from other people, kind of breeding that hatred or that lust or that anger or that the jealousy that you might have, whatever it might be? Because it's so easy to fall into that trap. And so let's see it for what it is. Let's call it out. And say, Lord, I'm going to take this seriously and realize that my eyes and what I'm taking in, I want it to be, like we talked about yesterday, what is beautiful and what is lovely, what is God-pleasing, not what is going to just feed the darkness and make my life worse and keep me from God. But I want to see things that are going to be filling me with like true light and His light, because He is the light of the world. You got to connect those two ideas. Because Jesus talks about us being the light of the world. And how can we do that if we're filled with darkness? Or if we're covering the light that we have, keeping it to ourselves. So it's a matter of taking in and reading that scripture and praying with ourselves and praying with others. Getting together, worshiping, and again, beholding and seeing all these wonderful things that God has given, and being careful. There's an old kids song, remember? Be careful, little eyes, what you see, because the Father up above, He is looking down in love, right? Be careful, little eyes, what you see, I think that's how it goes. I don't know. But it's just that idea, like, yeah, it matters, not just for little ones, but for us, for all of us, because it affects your soul, for good or for bad. And I want it to be for good. I want it to be for God. I want it to again, encourage you that you know you're loved and forgiven, and that Jesus did die and rise for you, that you would have that peace and have that truth every single day. All right? So I'm Pastor Fred. This is The Follow Through. Hit that subscribe button and share this with somebody. Don't forget, download the PDF, the recenter one that's on there. That's going to help you. Even if you're just kind of jumping in and it's toward the end of this, you can use those 4 weeks anytime. In fact, I would encourage you to keep using them. Even if you've been tracking all this time, go over them again and again and again. Share it with somebody. Send this out to somebody else. It'd be awesome. All right? See you next time for another follow through.